best way to avoid disturbance is when you go to the coast, just know that you're coming to somewhere which is full of wildlife. So what disturbance is? It's ultimately anything that takes a bird away from what it would be doing naturally. If we think of it as the bird experiences it, if that bird only experiences 1 or 2 disturbance during the day, it doesn't really harm that bird. The bird can make up for that interruption. But if a bird gets disturbed maybe 40 or 50 times during the day, then that can have a really serious impact to the bird, to the point where it might give up on what is favourable territory and go to somewhere which is less favourable. So it does have an impact, and ultimately can affect how the birds actually manage to get through the winter and then can go on to breed in the following breeding season, and of course do that massive migration that they have to do, where they have to be in really tip-top condition. The initial signs of that we've disturbed a bird can be quite subtle. So at times it can just be the bird stopping and looking from what it might be doing, which is feeding. But it can range from that subtle disturbance to then alarm calling, and then the birds of course will fly away. So that's the ultimate sort of part of disturbance. So the birds we've got here on the Northumberland coast are internationally important, and lots of them come here during the autumn and the winter and spend that whole time with us, and they come from far-flung places like the Arctic, like Arctic Canada and Greenland, Svalbard. And really what they've got here is lots and lots of opportunities to feed. But other ones that we have, like ring plover, they'll stay with us right during the breeding season, and some will move further north, but ultimately we get them breeding here on our beaches. It's a really special place, so have that mindset where you're aware that you're going to be encountering wildlife, and give the birds space. So if you see a group of birds, give them space. We say about 40 to 50 metres is around about the right amount of space where you can almost ensure that you're not going to have that disturbance impact to the birds. And really, by walking higher up on the beach, that achieves that, avoiding the muddy areas, giving space to the rocky areas. So very, very simple things, but ultimately it comes down to space.
This is a hall outside, which basically means a resting place for the seals. They come out to digest their food, to sleep, to molt once a year. If they're going through the molting process, they actually spend more time on land than in the sea until that process is complete. So it's a really important place for them, that they have somewhere safe that they can rest. We try and ensure that the seals do not get too much disturbance from the public. We do get disturbance from time to time. It can be noise disturbance, that's a really significant one. First thing a seal will do will look up at that person or the direction of the sound that they're being disturbed by. Once they've done that, they might then start to take flight and move across the rocks. And if they start to do that, they go very, very quickly. The risk of injury to the seals is quite significant. We have some high rocks here, so we really want to avoid that at all costs. It's a safe haven for the seals as best as it can be. The main thing is to keep dogs on leads, keep them away from the seals, really give the seals as much space as possible and look after their welfare.